fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Here's what Jesus would say about Trump versus Biden. Here's what Jesus would say about this entire circus that is unfolding in front of our eyes right now here in today's wild environment that we're all living through. And I don't know this for sure because I've never met Jesus personally. I don't know exactly that he would say these words, but I have a feeling that he would say something along these lines. And it's this one simple sentence: replace their name with mine. Replace their name with mine. And if you don't believe in Jesus, maybe replace their name with God. And let's just take it a step further and say you don't even believe in God. You're a true atheist. You just believe that everything's here by some crazy chance and there's nothing there but just some universe and we're all here and we just kind of die and it all goes away. If that's the case, how about replace their name with love? Can you imagine if we just did that with all the bickering? I did a little Google search here just for news. This is like relevant stuff happening right now. I did the Googled Donald Trump and went to the news section. Guess how many results pulled up? And most of this stuff, I went out like 18 pages, and this is all within the past day or so. There was 497 million results. 497 million results for the word Donald Trump. And you can imagine there's all kinds of blogs, news media, social media, and that doesn't include a lot of the stuff that's on social media that's not in the search engines. 497 million. I did the same thing for Jesus. Guess how many came up? And Jesus is a big deal, right? I mean, he's been around, that name's been around for a long time, many thousands of years. 113 million. So 497 million to 113 million. I mean, over 4 times more news-related articles and mentions of Donald Trump over Jesus. And I'm using Donald Trump just because he's a little bit more polarizing and has, he's obviously the current president, and he does have more terms and search terms and articles and all kinds of controversy around him versus Joe Biden. But when you combine the two, it's now 7 times more than even the word Jesus. To me, that's sad. And I'm sitting here, I'm watching many of my friends on both sides, meaning both sides, Republican and Democrat, people that I grew up with, people that I know were friends at one time, are now bickering and hating each other because they don't agree with this. It's like we're all thinking one of these two politicians can solve all the problems. I mean, do you really think one man or even a Senate or a Congress or Supreme Court filled with human sinners can alter God's plans? I mean, do you think any person or any group in D.C. or anywhere can hold back God's glory or his retribution or his favor on us? Guys, only God can make America great again. Only God can make America great again. We're putting all this trust in thinking that these people up in Washington, D.C. are going to solve our problems. Gosh, turn to God. Replace their name with mine. Turn off the news. Turn off the media. Turn off the notifications. Turn off the hate. And turn to him. Turn to me is what he would be saying right now. Turn to me. Stop arguing. Start loving. Start praying. Guys, here's the deal. A lot of you probably don't know this because maybe you haven't looked at history, but there have been 19 Republican presidents and 15 Democratic presidents. I tell you that to let you know there have been a lot on both sides. And depending on how old you are, if you have a chance to vote this year, you've certainly lived through at least a couple of presidents. Let's just say you're 50, you lived through quite a few presidents on both sides of the fence. And I'm sure there was probably some time when you were 20, 30, 40, whatever it was, when you felt like the world was falling apart because if this person got elected, then everything's going to go and the whole America's going down the tubes. And here's the truth. God has protected us every single time. Regardless of who is in office, it's still his country. It's still his. It is not ours. It is not theirs. They are not going to save America. They are not going to save you as a person. They are not going to be your ticket into heaven or hell. That's going to come between you and God and Jesus. It is going to have nothing to do with regardless if it's Republican or Democrat. And I want to share this with you because I see so much hatred, and I know you do too. And I'm trying to get off social media. I have completely turned off the news. I've turned off all the media. I've turned off all notifications. I've turned off all hate. In fact, what you're listening to right now, regardless if you're on iTunes or Stitcher or on my blog, this is the first time this entire year I have even used the word Trump or Biden. Think if we all just did that. Instead of replying to someone that you disagree with, just let it go. Maybe pray for them. Instead of trying to comment or share something or talk about your opinion on whatever it is out there, it could be fake news, it could be real, it doesn't even matter. Just change the subject. Maybe change it to God, maybe change it to love, change it to something positive. I mean, how amazing would it be if we could flip-flop that? Think if we had 497 million results showing up for just positive news, for love, for God, for Jesus. But once again, if you don't even believe in Jesus, you can't argue with the fact he was a positive person, he was a loving person, he was a forgiving person, he was a trustful person. I mean, think if we just flip-flop that, if we all just, instead of talking about all the politics and stuff that we're never going to agree upon, you're never going to convince someone else to believe what you believe if they're on the other side of the fence, just change it to love, change it to prayer. Stop arguing, guys. Stop all this nonsense and stop believing that either party is going to really change anything. Everything here is part of God's plan. Everything that we're going through and everything that's going to happen in the future is in God's hands. I believe God, if he were here or Jesus, would say, guys, I've got this. It's in my hands and everything will be okay. Turn to me, trust in me, love and pray. Don't trust in any politician. Don't ever think for a second that is going to be the answer to our problems. We need more God. We need more love. We need more Jesus. I wanted to share that with you because it's been on my heart. I didn't even want to go down this path of even getting political, but I've seen just too many of my own personal friends and even some loved ones that have just gotten in a bad spot, and I think need to hear this. Even if just one or two people hear it, I'm not trying to convince you to change your vote. I could care less. I do believe, as I said, that this is in God's plans, and I don't think either way that it's going to change things. It is what it is, and God has this covered. He's got this, but we got to turn to him. We got to start loving him more. We got to start trusting in him, not politicians. I mean, just think if we all did that. So I encourage you, turn off the news, turn off the media, turn off the notifications, turn off all the hate, and start just turning to love, turning to God. I love your feedback. Leave me a comment. If you're listening on the podcast, go to saltstrong.com/unchurched and let me know what you think. I don't really care about who you're voting for, and I don't want to have a political debate, but I love your thoughts on how we could somehow turn a lot of this animosity and hatred into love, into something positive. We're seeing so much attention, so much money, so much time, so much energy spent on all the politics. What if we just directed that into love and into Christ and into just being good people? Imagine how much better the world would be. Guys, I love you. I appreciate you listening to this, and I will talk to you on the next episode. God bless.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul, it was pain.